did I run a good calf? Did I do my job? If they didn't do their job, be realistic, be hard on yourself, fix it, and then move on to the next one with confidence. I think you see a lot of people that always run a bad calf, always run a bad steer, always got on a bad bucking horse, always drew a bad bull, always got the short end of the stick.
Can't be true all the time.
Nothing against them. It doesn't happen all the time. The best guys win. Not saying you couldn't be the best guy, but you're not going to become the best guy if you just always drew the short end of the stick, if you always think that you got unlucky. Skill creates the best luck.
Welcome back to the Let's Freaking Rodeo podcast presented by Boot Barn. Today's a big week for Let's Freaking Rodeo. 2 things we haven't done before. This week, Journey to the NFL, the documentary that I made, is on Let's Freaking Rodeo YouTube, and it's live now. If you just type in Journey to the NFL on YouTube, it's only on YouTube, it will pop up. Second thing, we have never actually interviewed Ty yet. In honor of the doc and to kind of do something new, we have Ty Harris on the podcast this week. This is him in the interview seat. I interview him so we can peel back the layers. We can talk about everything. Let's Freaking Rodeo. What a great year it's been. Goals going forward. And then we also dive into him as an athlete. The day job for Ty is calf roping. Podcasting is secondary. And he's really good at what he does. So we dive in and get to unpack his story. And I think it's a lot of fun. And if y'all enjoy it, we can do more solo episodes more often. But that being said, thank y'all for all the support. Thank you for watching. And Let's Freaking Rodeo.
Feels weird to be sitting on this couch.
You are now the interviewee.
It's a lot different mindset I'm in right now.
We're coming in on 1 year of podcasting. What's the biggest thing you've learned about rodeo, about mindsets, about anything?
Well, first off, it's amazing how when I just sat in this seat, put my sponsor shirt on and acted like the interviewee, how I automatically got more comfortable. Even after months of talking to the best athletes in the world, we just talked to Kyle Irwin and interviewed him, and I was way more nervous than I am right now to get interviewed. So That's kind of crazy. Hopefully that'll keep getting better. I think I've gotten better. I was a little shaky at the start. Thanks for bearing with me. But man, what have I learned? I don't write very well, but I could give you an audiobook on it. You know, I mean, we're talking about mental mindset, how people's brain works. You know, some people are really, really fast paced, some are slower paced, but all these people that we've talked to are so successful in their own right and in their own way that I think that what it's made me learn about myself is that I need to do what works for me and do it the best of my ability every day. Not worry about what this guy's doing or what that guy's doing or what this girl's doing, because it doesn't matter what they're doing. As long as I can wake up and really look in the mirror and tell myself that I'm doing the best I can for me. That's what I've learned. It's not really necessarily I've adopted one thing from somebody that I'm going to put into my life. It's just do what I know works for me and do that to the best of my ability.
That was good. What do you think about the impact that the podcast has had so far?
It's unreal, dude. Everywhere we go, I mean, every single rodeo I go to, committee guys, fans, people, I mean, I'll be walking by Riley Webb up to the rodeo and people come up to me. He's the reigning and 2-time world champion, one of the biggest superstars in rodeo, 22 years old with the whole future ahead of him, probably going to be one of the greatest ever when it's over. You know, obviously a lot of things can go wrong in somebody's career, but you'd have to say the best start to somebody's career of maybe history. All time of history. I'm walking up there with him and people are coming up to me to talk about Let's Freaking Rodeo or take a picture with me. And, you know, it feels like not worthy at all. I don't feel like I deserve it at all, but it's not about me. It's about Let's Freaking Rodeo. And it's so cool what we've gotten to do for the sport. And I can't wait to see where it goes.
I think the thing that marks you is your love for rodeo.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen it before. Anytime you put a camera on me, if it's real and I mean it, it's easy. It's not fake at all. I love rodeo. It's all I've ever craved and all I've wanted to do and be a part of. I mean, I'm not even in the short round tonight over here at Caldwell where we're sitting in this bus and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this short round because the implications that it has on the world standings race.
Yeah.
Gold buckle race, guys trying to push to make the NFR. Guys that have maybe there's some guys tonight that have had a slower, maybe slower third quarter coming into the fourth quarter right here. If they need to do good tonight, not just for the standings, but for their mental game, capacity, knowing that they're still in an all right spot, you know. So I love rodeo. I've always said I'd be the best driver in the PRCA because if I wasn't competing, I would just love to be out here doing it.
So this podcast, this is the Ty Harris episode. Okay. Your day job is you're a calf roper. You're one of the best calf ropers in the world. Last year you finished, I think, number 4 in the world. So podcasting is not the main gig. It's definitely calf roping. And in this podcast, we've done a lot of media. People know your story, but I think it would be fun to do a Ty Harris episode and peel the curtain back on your career, because you're one of the best ropers going right now. So the first question, origin stories. If you can think of the earliest memory you have of feeling like you had the bug, like I can think of nothing else to do other than rope calves, what is that earliest memory you have?
That would have been when I caught my first calf. Sitting over there at Granny and Pawpaw's house and roping this. It's a black and white calf, and we have the video at the house. But I can vividly remember the feeling of that rope going on and my horse bouncing and dinking to a stop, and what that felt like. And that was the first time that I had the bug. Like, I have to have more of that feeling.
How did you, your dad, your mom, the family kind of journey in becoming a professional calf roper?
I've talked about it before, but Granny and Pawpaw none of it would have happened without them. So Dad was trying to get this car lot started and stuff in town, and he was so busy. He's an amazing dad that would do anything for any of his kids. If we chose that we wanted to do something, he would dive into it and do it. But he by no means was pushing me to get on a horse or to wrist swing a rope.
Yeah.
There was he was basketball coach. Him and my mom were doing their bus ministry. They're driving kids and taking them to church, and he's doing mission trips in Guatemala.
Yep.
That was the last of his mind, I think, was having kids, and then we get into rodeo. Granny and Pawpaw had an arena out there at their house, and they had stalls and they had horses, and stuff. But we lived in town, and that was not on our minds. Well, Granny and Pawpaw, I think they didn't push it, but they had a little bit different idea. I'd go out there, and that was what was on TV back then. It was like, I think, the PBR. Maybe you'd see like Cheyenne Short Round or some rodeos before the Cowboy Channel. You didn't see many rodeos.
So it'd be 2005, 2006,
3, 4. I'm gonna date myself here, but we're talking 2000. We're talking 2001, 2002, 2003 was when this would have started, and then obviously throughout the next 15, 20 years. But 2001, 2002, 2003, Dad and Mom's up there with Dad helping him with the car lot, and I'm out there at Granny and Pawpaw's, and we're watching rodeo. Pawpaw, cowboy hat, felt hat, great, silver belly, starch jeans, cowboy boots, starch shirt, heavy starch. Them jeans were staying right up every day, every single day. So that was that he was a cowboy. That's not really how my dad wasn't raising us to be that way technically, but I spent a lot of time out there with them. So he would get a pig and string, and I'd be down there playing around or whatever. Wasn't really playing with toys. I was playing with his pig and string. And then he'd have me put it on his boot, and then I would back up and it would get tight. And then he'd cheer for me. Yeah. He would get excited every time I caught his boot. And then it progressed to where he'd kind of help me, show me how to swing a rope, and I would rope a bucket. And then I would rope a hay bale. And then I would just beg for a horse. They would take me to the San Angelo Slack. So San Angelo performances. I went to every performance, sat in the first row of the rodeo right there in the Foster Communications Coliseum back when it was that, with Granny and Pawpaw. We watched I wrote down the times of every single performance of the rodeo. We went to the Fiesta Prelim. We went to the Fiesta Big Roping, the Fiesta Steer Roping. This might only be 10 or 12, 15 days out of the year that we spent doing this, that I did with Granny and Pawpaw. But it was core memories, and it was something that I looked forward to every year. Even when I got into school, I got pulled out of school during these days, and teachers sometimes weren't very happy about it. But that's what I was doing on those days, was going with Granny and Pawpaw to the rodeo, and that's where I really, really grew a love for it.
I want to read some accolades of yours. Junior high state champion, high school state champion, college national champion, 6-time NFR qualifier, 5 NFR go-round wins. Ty Harris is a winner. First off, let's focus on the young stuff. From junior high, high school, college. we've talked about it before about being a prodigy. Who is prodigies? I would have to say that you were in that bucket of prodigy with, I mean, who wins at the highest level on every level?
Yeah, I don't know about prodigy because I always compared myself to the best, you know. So me and you played a lot of basketball. I thought I was pretty good at basketball. I knew there was teams that we would go play that there was players that were better than me. Same with you, I'm sure. It wasn't that many that were better than us, but we weren't playing against the best players in the country every weekend. That's one thing about me growing up as a calf roper, and still to this day, I've never felt like a prodigy or the best because I was roping. That's the difference in my basketball, short-lived basketball career and my roping career. I never felt like the best because I wasn't. Weston Hughes was the best growing up. And you had Tyler Milligan, you had Cooper Martin. They were bigger, stronger. They're all a year to probably 22 months, I think, older than me. They were always better than me growing up. So I was comparing myself to the actual best ropers in the country as a kid growing up. And then, I'm in college. I'm starting to think I'm good. What I'm also trying to compete professionally. The best roper at that time in the world is Caleb Smith. I know I don't rope as good as him. But it's not hard. Calf roping, you can't lie to yourself. Rodeo in general, you can't lie to yourself. You're gonna get plenty of opportunities to go compete against the best in the world, and the proof's in the pudding.
When you're a high school kid, you can go to the American. Correct. When was the earliest you got to rope at the American?
Yeah, so that would have been my senior year in high school, 2017. And that's a perfect example because you're always getting humbled. I go 7.01 seconds, my first American. I think I was fifth roper. So at that point, 17 guys got to rope at the American. I was fifth roper. I go 7.01. They take 4 to the final 4. I didn't make it. So I thought I did a great job. I thought I made my run. I was so pumped, so excited. I didn't even make it back to advance to compete for the million. That happens throughout your career, throughout your life and your career. There's only a couple people that are the best of the best and even the best are going to experience that. They're going to get beat. But at that moment, you're like, crap, I know this is hard, but I just did my best and didn't even advance. We're not talking about first. I didn't even make it in the final 4.
So did you ever feel junior high, high school, college, those 3, state champion, you're the best in your age group? Was there ever the sense of accomplishment?
I'd say the biggest sense of accomplishment would have been junior high state champion because like we talked about high school state champion and college, by that point, I'm trying to compare myself to the best ropers in the world. I mean, when I won high school state champion, I was 18, about to be 19 years old, and so at that point, I'm thinking I'm trying to compare myself to the best. Junior high state champion was probably the biggest moment where I felt so accomplished. That was, at that moment, by far the biggest thing I'd ever won. I was really, really small growing up. Calves were bigger. The first time I made junior high state finals in Gonzales, I did not get a qualified time. I got the buzzer. A lot of kids in junior high, your parents, they put you in the breakaway, or you can choose. You can choose breakaway or you can choose calf roping. I think it would not be a bad decision to choose breakaway for a lot of kids' confidence. That wasn't an option. I was going to tie down. I never let that be an option that I was too small or whatever. Whereas, in theory, it wouldn't have hurt anything, but that's just the way that I did it and the way that we did it. I was going to tie down. I couldn't get either calf down, get the buzzer. 7th grade, do nothing. 8th grade, it was a huge, huge goal of mine to qualify for nationals, but to be the state champion, I won the all around. I won the tie down. Made it in the ribbons, and stuff. Just competing at a pressure situation didn't really affect me. It wasn't too hard. I didn't feel like I choked, but seeing that hard work pay off at the biggest moment right there and winning first just meant a lot at that moment for sure.
College national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, how old were you at that when you won that? 19?
Yeah, so I was 19 years old when I won the college national champion. I was a freshman at Cisco College.
I think first, talk about college rodeo and what it's like in general.
Dude, there's some funny memes about college rodeo. If you can look them up and find them. Like, college rodeo is the damnedest thing. You'll have one guy that's out there on the trail trying to make the NFR at the same time. Then you got the weekend warrior who's working at the propane store down the road for the week and taking his to bump a pool to the college rodeo and staying for the weekend and partying or whatever. It's the most diverse group of people you'll ever see in your life at a college rodeo. It was hard to kind of fit in. Like, it wasn't fun to go mingle and hang out with college kids, even though they were good friends, great people. It wasn't that cool as a freshman to come in. I'm coming in there and I want to dominate and I want to win that year. It was my rookie year as well. I wanted to win the rookie. I wanted to win the college national title, and I wanted to make the national finals. And so it wasn't and that probably gave me a little bit of a cocky aura about me. I think at that time in your life, at that age, it's hard to balance that line of confidence and cockiness. And maybe I crossed it, maybe I didn't. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But that was a hard time in my life because you show up to the college rodeo on a Saturday morning, rope, Saturday night short round. All these other people have been hanging out for the last 2-3 days. They're going to the bars and hanging out. They're buddies. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're tailgating. They're barbecuing. And I didn't feel like I fit in at that moment. But my goal was to be a college national champion. And so I stuck it out and stuck it through. And it was all good. And it was a great experience being at the college national finals. But the whole college rodeo experience was a little bit different for me, for sure.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break from the podcast. I'm going to tell you about the presenting sponsor, Boot Barn. Those listening on audio and not watching this little iPhone video right here, we are in beautiful Livingston, Montana. And if there's two things you think of the Western way of life, one of the top two is Montana. The second one better be Boot Barn, people. Boot Barn's mission is to feed America, protect America, and serve America. Doesn't matter if you're in Montana, New York. If you want a part of the Western way of life, Boot Barn's how you get it. Boot Barn has over 450 store locations nationwide. They sponsor over 600 rodeos per season. So next time you see one of them Boot Barn signs driving down that road, why don't you peel off down there, go in the store, get you some nice boots, nice jeans, nice shirts, look sharp, let's clean up. Or better yet, go online at bootbarn.com, shop what you need. Doesn't matter if you dress like Ty, me, or anything in between. Boot Barn has what you need. Okay, we're rhyming out here, baby. Boot Barn is changing the game. They're sponsoring this podcast, and we appreciate the support so much. Thank you for watching. Let's get back to the podcast. You come off, I don't know the timing of it all. I know the college national finals in the summer, correct? Is it in the summertime?
Yeah, it's in June. So we went from the college national finals. Me and Dad drove from the college national finals to North Platte.
So that's the question. What is it like? Let's not even use the college national finals because that's a big rodeo. What is it like coming from you're in one of the buildings, or you're at a big rodeo, PRCA professional rookie year, and then you slide over to college rodeo? Is it like, I'm the man, I'm roping against the best, then I'm coming down to what's that dynamic like?
Man, I just tried to keep telling myself, enjoy it. You don't get very many, like at that time in my life, I started thinking, I'm only going to get to rope against these guys for a little bit longer. Not that they don't rope bad at all, but every other weekend, every other day of the year, I'm going to have to go rope against the best guys in the world. Your Tough Coopers, your Marty H, your Cale Smiths, your Shane Hanchings, at that time, Cade Swore, all these amazing guys you look up to your whole life. So yeah, when I went to the college rodeo, I enjoyed being able to take a breath and know that I should win. I didn't feel like I should win when I went to the pro rodeos, So yeah. I didn't start realizing that until probably my senior year in high school. Actually, my senior year in high school, I was like, man, enjoy these high school rodeos because this is the last chance you're going to have to do it. Guess what? You only get these 4 years of high school rodeo. You only get your 3-4 years to college rodeo. And if you're going to continue rodeoing after that, you're going to have to go beat the best guys in the world. You got team roping, there's a handicap system, and barrel racing, there's a handicap system. But if you're going to try to do it for a living or do it day in and day out, you're going to have to beat the best athletes in the world.
Was Stephenville, Texas on your list of, hey, I picture a little like college football hat selection ceremony where you're going to go to college rodeo. You got Kingsville, you got these big behemoths.
There wasn't no hat selection. That's what I told Kyle earlier. We were talking. I didn't get recruited at all. Don Ed Edelman.
Recruiting is a thing in college rodeo.
Oh, for sure. 100%. It's getting more serious, I think, as the years go by.
Really?
I don't know what the NIL situation is now. I'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't think I was going to get paid like Johnny Manziel or nothing, but
they're going to pay, hey, $5,000. They'll probably give you a stipend. They'll give you free housing.
I got that.
Horses. They'll give you horses.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I got a free place to stay, and you get travel money to go to the college rodeos when I went. Full ride, free education. And yeah, I got to compete for Cisco College. Don Ed Edelman's a really, really good family friend. He was at our high school rodeos. So me and Peyton were team roping partners, and he told us right there, and he goes, I want y'all to come to Cisco, and we're starting a rodeo program down there. Perfect.
So, hey,
And I think Peyton had some hard recruiting coming from Tarleton State. He was Stephenville guy, Coach Aiken, I think that's his name there. Was trying to recruit him, and there were some different coaches that wanted Peyton to come, but I never even got a call. That's the funny story. No one called me. Don Ed jokes. He says, "Because I already planted my brain on you. Already told all them coaches stay away." But it's a funny joke.
What are the biggest college rodeo programs? I mean, it's not
Tarleton's huge.
Tarleton's huge.
Yeah, like Tarleton's a huge rodeo program.
Kingsville. Or East Texas A&M now? Are they all right?
It's East Texas A&M. It was Texas A&M Commerce when I went.
Commerce, yes.
Yes, now it's East Texas A&M, right?
Yep.
That's a big rodeo. That's a good rodeo program.
You were at Cisco, then you went to Commerce, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Because I graduated high school with 24 hours in college, so I only got to do one semester of junior college at Cisco, and then I transferred to a university with Texas A&M Commerce. Coach Damian White, he's amazing too. I was blessed with two amazing rodeo coaches.
Wow. And then Stephenville is just rodeo. It's funny how Stephenville is like for high school kids who want to be involved in rodeo. It's like Mecca, dude. Literally.
What's Mecca?
Mecca is like thinking Islam. It's like Mecca is like the Holy Land.
Oh, yeah. You want everyone, especially from other states.
Stephenville. They think it's
they got to be in Stephenville.
Yeah.
You know,
the college national championship. Tell me about being there, the run, the environment, what it's like at the actual rodeo.
So that was fun. Roping's fun for me. Rodeoing's fun. I love it. There's highs or lows, but that was so fun. I was in that moment where I was a freshman. I didn't feel any pressure from anything because I thought I was going to win it, but to me in my mind, it didn't matter. I got a few more years anyways. Who cares? Like I was just in that perfect mental space mindset where just literally enjoying every second. I think you should always be like that, but the older I get, the harder I think it is because I feel the years and the countdown starting for your career and stuff. But anyways, long story short, freshman year of college national finals was just the time of my life.
Rookie year. Okay. There's a pivotal story that you tell a lot. You told a couple times, but I think it's kind of like would be your welcome to the welcome to the major league story. Tell that story about how
you talking about Colorado Springs?
Yeah.
My welcome to the big leagues moment would probably be a 6-month period. You see it every year. Nothing against any of the young guys, and I hope you guys all get it figured out, but it's just the hard, cold truth. When in June, if you take a screenshot of the standings, you're going to see a lot of guys in there that you can look at. You probably think they're probably not going to be there in December. Just like there's going to be guys that you can look at the standings that are going to be down, that might be down there that particular year that you say they're probably going to be in Vegas. You got Shane Hanshee and Tuff Cooper and these guys. Even if they're not the top, they might be 40th in the world in June.
40 in April. 40th in April.
Yeah, it's just summer rodeos are so amazing. There's so many more rodeos to go to. The rhythm that happens, how hard the road is out here is hard on a lot of younger guys, a lot of less experienced guys. So back to my welcome to the big leagues moment would have been from I guess it'd be 5 months. San Antonio, which is February, to Colorado Springs in July, was a 5-month period where I went from 9th in the world, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind in February of 2018 that I was going to make the national finals. There wasn't. I just thought I'm going to make it.
I'm in.
I'm going to make. I'm not that I was in at all, but just that I'm working so hard at it. I feel so sharp. I'm dialed. I'm going to make the national finals. The next 5 months, I go from 9th to 37th, 38th. I don't know. I won like $2,000. I win nothing. And that, yeah.
Why do you think that was?
I've lost before, but not to that extent. Not when that is all. Not when that is
that's
all.
That's defeat. That ain't even a loss. That's
defeat. Why is that? So many different things. You come to a longer type setups, bigger type calves at rodeos, pro rodeos that you've never. I hear Red Bluff, California. I don't know what the hell they mean by that. Red Bluff Roundup. I know it's a good rodeo. I'll be there in April. You don't. And I tell everybody, you can practice, you can practice, you can practice, you can prepare. I don't care if Joe Beaver's training you, Cody Oles training you, Steve Duhan's training you in the Bulldogging. I personally don't think that you can prepare for the summer run until you go live it. I learn out here every year. Every summer I come out here, I learn something new, especially the first year. These type of rodeos, these setups for us, especially growing up in Texas, I didn't hardly rope outside. I roped at some outdoor arena amateur rodeos, but it's short. It's softer calves. You're roping a third enough. They bring a third enough roping calves. They draw the whole slack before previously, so I can, if I ever got a rerun over here at Sulphur Springs, I get to watch. I know exactly what calf I have. I get to watch him go, video him, know exactly what he's about to do. There's no rodeo count. There's so many things that go into it. Guess what? I got 4 this weekend. I'm going to have 4 next weekend. I'm going to have 4 next weekend. And if I'm not winning, I'm going to go to more than the other guy, and I'll make the UPRA finals or whatever it is. So yes, I think amateur rodeo is a stepping stone, learning how to win. I think it's important, but it ain't out here.
Yeah.
Dylan Hancock, I seen a quote from him the other day. He goes, Texas circuit rodeos and amateur rodeos, it's a lot different than the big leagues out there on the road. I learned a lot my rookie year. He was talking about his, but yeah, you just are going to come out here and get your ass kicked.
I'm going to every rodeo year one for the first time, like you said. Where's the rodeo office? Where do I get my back number? Where's the draw? I mean,
where do you pull in?
Where do you pull in? Where do you park? Where are the stalls at? And it's the mental effort it takes just before you even get to rope that year 2 is almost probably not gone, but it's probably 90% gone.
Oh, what? I don't just type in Estes Park and pull up the first route the GPS takes me? Well, I don't do that. Why do I get off on the side of this freaking mountain and I'm holding white knuckling the wheel and having scared for my life with no trailer brakes?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that shit, And I always try to, if there's ever a time where I can tell somebody just a little bit of, I'm not telling them how to live their life or how to rodeo or how to rope, but if I can tell them, hey, you might not want to go that route, or you might not want to do this because nobody told me, I didn't know who to ask, didn't know what to do. I was out here by myself. And I learned a lot of things the hard way.
Reflecting on that, looking back, why didn't you go that route where you're like, hey, Kyle Irwin, we just interviewed him. Why am I not going to go to a 35-year-old and pick his brain and go travel with him?
Yeah, I think hindsight's 20/20. You can always look back and wish that you did this or wish that you did that. I think that right today, I'm so thankful that I didn't, because for me personally, when I learn something the hard way, I learn it. If somebody would have told me what to do or would have been entering me or doing all the hard stuff for me and I didn't have to do it on my own, I don't know that I ever would have fully learned it and grasped it, and then also gained the appreciation and love for it that I have. Obviously there was bumps along the way that I maybe could have missed. Who knows? Maybe I would have made the national finals my rookie year if I went with an older guy. I don't know. But I think that it was a really good part of my process.
I don't think I've ever actually asked you that question ever in my life. Yeah, that's crazy. Because you could, like you said, you're 20, so you just turned 27, correct? 27 out here, and we'll get to this question in a minute, but you're running 3 rigs out here. You're planes, trains, automobiles, and you naturally can operate on a high. You're high strung. You have a good bandwidth. You can operate doing a lot of things at once. None of that would be possible without that rookie year learning and trial and failing. Because if you would have went with a 35-year-old guy and you make it enough forward, then you would have probably stuck with them 3-4 years.
If he let me, I see guys that a guy will take a younger person the rookie year or whatever, or take them to their first NFR, and then if something happens, horses, rigs, families, whatever it is, they split. Then the younger guy's really screwed. You don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know. We're not even talking hypotheticals. We're not even talking about a guy that I would have been in the rig with. Who knows what would have happened? But as long as he takes you, you're probably not learning as much as you would be if you were making those decisions on your own.
Tell the people how much of a chaotic setup you have. For context, everywhere we go, we talk to people. They're like, Ty's rig's here. No, he's there. He has 3 rigs. You're known out here as the guy who has probably one of the craziest rigs setups in professional rodeo.
Yeah, we got a big crew. I'm rodeoing with Nick Achille in this bus. Joel Braden's rodeoing. His wife's out here with him and goes every rodeo with him. Brogan's entering a lot. He's my best buddy, driver, just best friend, really. And truthfully, I'd do anything for him to get to rope. So I keep a stock trailer out here that he gets to go in. I have 2 older mileage trucks that, You don't know when one of them's going to break down. My biggest deal is I don't want to get turned out of rodeo. We only get to go to 80 rodeos throughout the year. If something happens, which I've had things happen, most people out here, if you rodeo long enough, you're going to have something happen to your rig and your truck. I don't want that to be part of the equation. I want to make sure that no matter what, I'm going to be able to get to the rodeo that counts towards my 80 because, no matter if I miss the NFR, it's not the end of the world. But that is the goal. That is the number one. No matter what, I will run to the end of this earth to be roping in December at the national finals.
And you think having those 3 rigs out here gives you the higher chance? So if a truck breaks down, you're not screwed.
I could have bought a new truck and only had one and maybe risked it, or just keep the 2 older mileage trucks that where if one breaks down, the chances of both of them breaking down at the same time are very low.
Growing up, y'all are always driving junk trucks when you had the money. Why? This is great. It's ingrained in you now.
Well, Dad grew up with nothing. Dad had 2 great parents that did the best they could to provide for his family, but he grew up with nothing. And he's never owned a new vehicle in his life. He's not going to spend money on anything. And I think I'm not perfect out at it by any means. I'm sure I spend more money than I should in different areas, but he's always preached and believed that if you're going to spend more money than you should, let it be on a horse, because you can't ride these rigs. You compete on that animal and you're not going to win without that animal. And it's not based on spending more money, making it a better horse. It's not, but I don't want to say, oh, that horse costs too much. If he's that good, I want to be able to figure out a way to get him for our team, for our crew, to give us the best chance to win.
So you're always kind of saving money and leveraging it for horses.
Yeah, people invest. I try to invest if I have enough spare money laying around, but it's not a safe investment. It's not a money-making investment, but I invest in horses because that's what I compete on. That horse might go down next week, but I can't compete. I can't fulfill my sponsor obligations to be one of the best ropers in the world, to make the national finals, to compete at the highest level if I don't have great animals to ride.
Rookie year, you win Rookie of the Year. What is how prestigious is that award?
Oh, man. How often do you hear, which now I think they're slowing down a little bit on it because I've won other big things, but for years, all you heard when I'm back in the box every single time, Rookie of the Year, college national champion. How many awards in any sport do you only have one opportunity to win? Rookie of the Year, you got one chance. There's not many sports that have that's a real thing. You got Heisman winners, they get 2, 3, 4 years, depending on when they go to the draft to win it. But Rookie of the Year, you got one chance, one opportunity to win it. It meant a lot. I was behind really bad that year, and that year didn't fully feel like I accomplished what I wanted to, but it still gave me something to walk away with that was a positive. It was a positive feeling to go out there and go to Vegas to get my saddle and my buckle and, do the interviews and to strap that buckle on that you wear now.
I wear it. He lets me wear it, guys. I wear it everywhere.
To strap that Rookie of the Year buckle on, it was special. That goal that year was to make the national finals, but what's second best is Rookie of the Year. And when you're done, if let's say I make 15 NFRs, let's just say I make 15 national finals, and you could tell me, would you have 16 NFRs and no Rookie of the Year? Or would you have 15 NFRs and be the Rookie of the Year? I would say Rookie of the Year every time because you only have one opportunity to win it.
Really?
Not that correlates. Obviously, if I would have made the NFR, I would have won the Rookie anyways. I'm just saying that you only get one opportunity to win the Rookie of the Year. I'm so thankful that I got it done, and it sure catapulted me into the next year, feeling like I had something, feeling like a badass. And Justin Moss did the best job ever of bringing me in and making me feel like a badass, because I felt like I let myself down by not making the national finals. I show up to his house in October, and we're sitting down at dinner, and people are coming up, hey, you meet the Rookie of the Year, or hey, Lana Mangold walks in, or these guys walk in. He has rodeo guys around all the time. This is the Rookie of the Year, and blah, 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 1988.
He built you up.
This is your 2018 Rookie of the Year, Ty Harris. Nice, people I'd never met, stuff like that. Just builds you up, making you feel like it was something, like it was badass, that it was worth something, and even more. Obviously, it was a big accomplishment, but he just made it feel big to me. He could have been that guy that's like, well, you didn't make the national finals, it don't matter. And he wasn't, so that meant a lot to me.
Was there a new just tenacity, hunger Man, it would have been a big blow if you would have missed it 2 years in a row. I mean, did you come home hungry to make it?
Hungrier than I've ever been.
What were those? What were those practices like? I mean, what were those? You come home, you know you didn't make it. It's October 1st. You're out of it. It's the new year.
Dude, I took a week. A lot of times you'll see me, you know me, I'll take a week sometimes where I just don't touch it, don't think about it, don't do it at all. But I freaking, after that week, I worked at it so hard. Maybe honestly to a point that it was detrimental because you can only work so hard and it be a positive practice, in my opinion. Now, the older I get, the more I realize just because you're working the hardest as you possibly can doesn't mean that it's making you better. I think you have a sharp practice to get better at what you need to get better at. And then if you want to work really hard, go to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of those maybe just got to be with it, just workouts, just because I just didn't want to be outworked. I did not ever want to miss the national finals again. I didn't want that to be part of the equation. And so, I mean, I just worked so freaking hard at it.
Do you have a memory? I mean, obviously that whole time it's just grind. Is there a specific like practice story? Is there a something that happened that you're like, yeah,
pretty specific, huh? I seen Josh
You're
Allen.
laughing, you know.
I seen Josh Allen busting with the boys, and they asked him about something. He goes, "Oh, it's a pretty specific question." Sound like you're talking to me.
I mean, what do you?
It's funny now, but November. I think Justin was doing it to motivate me. He's a master motivator, I came to Justin's to ride 2 horses, El Gato and Iron. I thought my horses didn't stay sound out here my rookie year in the summer. If it wasn't for Iron, I never would have won the Rookie of the Year that year. Made a huge comeback when I got on him Caldwell week. Right here, 3rd week of August, I got on Iron and went on a heater. Come down to September and had a chance to make the national finals and didn't get it done. Didn't do my job. Didn't draw a couple of the right calves, but I didn't do my job and make the national finals. So there's another horse, though, that Justin has access to, El Gato, that Caleb Smith had been riding the previous year. He wasn't going to ride him anymore. So I got Iron and El Gato. And that's the deal that I made, that I wanted. I told Justin, I said, I want to be able to ride those horses. Those are good horses, are good enough. They're fast enough. They're sound enough. I can make the national finals if you give me the opportunity to ride those horses. He said, I'll do it. So
he tested you.
He tested me. You know the story. I'll tell it. So Lanham Mangold has part of the NFR calves. Lanham and Justin are pretty much neighbors, best buddies. Lanham brings calves over to Justin's and ropes them and stuff. Justin breaks in all the Lanham's calves and stuff, and so we're roping the NFR calves, and Hanchy's coming over, whatever. Well, they have the big NFR preparation day, and all the NFR guys come down. All the calves are there. The horses are there. It's a really cool, now that I'm in the NFR, it's a great day. Like you're a month away from the national finals. You're opening those calves. You're breaking it down.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. You're just full of excitement. Everybody has high hopes and dreams. Next month's about to be the greatest 10 days of our lives, guys. And it might be terrible for some of you. But I've been there.
Half of y'all ain't going to like it. Half of you may.
3 or 4 really ain't going to like it probably. So, and I've been there. Well, I'm riding El Gato at this point. Iron was taking some time off for an injury. I'm amateur rodeo and circuit rodeo in El Gato. I'm going to be riding him at the winter rodeos. This is November. The upcoming season is 2019. All these guys come over and they run out of horses and they still got some calves left over. Justin says, "Hey Ty, go catch El Gato." Mind you, El Gato is the horse I'm trying to rodeo on. I'm having trouble scoring him. I'm not winning on him at the rodeos. I told Justin, he's telling me how I need to ride him better. And I said, man, I think if I can make some practice runs on him, you could coach me and teach me and tell me how I need to score him and how I need to ride him, and I could figure it out. Hell, that horse don't need no practice runs. You don't need no practice runs on him. You just need to rope better and ride better.
It's your fault.
My
the horse's fault.
That's what he's saying. And I'm not arguing. Probably was my fault, but I just asked for some practice runs on the horse that I was going to compete on at these rodeos. Tells me, no, you're stupid. You're riding bad. Okay.
Stupid.
Marty Yates, good friend of mine now. And him weren't really buddies at that point. Didn't hate him, didn't love him. No, whatever. He says, hey, Marty, you want to run some on Gato? Marty's like, he goes, run a few, just run a few. Hey, Ty, go get Gato at the pasture. I'm working for Moss. I'm untying calves all day. Let me back this up. Sorry, I'm not that good of a storyteller sometimes. It's all run. You're following me. I'm untying calves all day for this. Which is already enough salt in that wound.
Yeah.
We're pouring salt in that wound. You didn't make it. You finished 19th in the world. You weren't good enough to rope.
On tie for these NFR guys.
You weren't going good enough to make it. Untie all day. I didn't sit on a horse for that whole day. Untied. And then the horse that I'm
hopefully going to make it on
hopefully
next year.
going to make the national finals on, scoring bad. Justin tells me, ride better. You don't get no practice runs on him. He don't need it. Tells me go catch him. I have to go catch the horse, saddle him, warm him up, boot him up for Marty to strap his rope on and rope some of these calves. And I'll never forget it. And Moss, I could tell he just was loving it. He could tell he was getting me fired up.
Did Marty blast?
Oh, Marty blasted. Horse worked. Horse come across there. Marty run, I think, 3 or 4 calves and just ate them up. He can ride anything. But finish that day. Everyone goes to dinner. Get back from dinner. I take the 4-wheeler out there. Not the NFR calves, obviously. Lanham had taken his NFR calves bag. Jeff Yates has taken his NFR calves bag. I go out there to the practice calves. I strap my rope onto the front of that 4-wheeler. I can remember like it was yesterday. It was misting down rain. His grass is about that tall right there. It's terrible tying conditions. I'm probably not getting no better. But I just run up to the closest calf I can. I stick him. I go out there and flank him. I put gloves on because I know I'm going to burn my hands, and I just tie for 2 hours. When a calf would get tired.
On the 4-wheeler?
On the ground, I would I'd be driving the 4-wheeler, run up, rope a calf.
On the 4-wheeler?
Yes, on the 4-wheeler.
I've never heard this story.
I haven't told this part of it. And I tied until I couldn't breathe anymore, until my hands were getting sore through my gloves, my cotton gloves. Just, some people run, some people whatever. But that was just like, and I'll never forget it. I said, I will make the national finals next year.
Right there, baby. Right there,
no
baby.
joke. I've never told that story. I don't know that Justin knows that. So if Justin, we didn't have no calves get sick or nothing, but yeah, I got a lot of practice in that night.
Wow. And spoiler alert, you made the NFR. Talk about, so like we said, junior high state champ, high school national champion, high school state champion, college national champion, PRCA Rookie of the Year. You've now qualified for the biggest thing is in rodeo, the National Finals Rodeo. Your success there. Do you feel like you have had success there? Just talk about the National Finals Rodeo, your career so far.
Yeah, no, it's been nothing of what I would have dreamt it to be and hoped and expected it to be.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. I don't think I've performed well at the National Finals at all. I think that, yeah, that's just a fact.
So we every podcast, when people listen, they hear you say that. If you're not at your standard yet, what is your standard? What is a dream scenario for you at the NFR?
A dream would be to go make my 10 good runs. If I'm not winning out here in the summer or going to rodeos and I'm not winning and I'm sending Dad videos, and if I ever say anything about not winning, he's like, well, have you made a good run? If we think, and this is what I believe, if I make a good run, if my horse works, and my calf is marginal or better. We've talked about it in multiple podcasts. There's a third of great calves. There's a third that are probably middle of the herd. There's a third that aren't very good or as good. If you can win on that 2/3 of the calf, if I got the 2/3 of the best calves, a good horse, and make a good run, I'm gonna win. If I can do that 10 times at the national finals, that's my standard.
So the standard, because 2019, your first NFR. 2 go-round wins, correct? That's not the standard. The standard isn't go-round wins. The standard is doing your job.
No, because the go-round wins will take care of themselves. When I get that perfect start and I have that top third end of the calf, and things go a little bit my way, I'll get the round. The round wins, to me, is amazing. One of the coolest nights of my life, getting to go on that South Point stage, winning go-rounds is obviously a huge goal. But the go-round wins will take care of themselves. If I can go, my standard and my mindset is if I can go make 10 good runs in that building, I would love to see where I can end up.
Do you feel like that is something that a mindset you have now? I feel like probably at the time when you're 20 years old, you get that first go-round win, you're at the top of the world, get that Pendleton whiskey next to that gold buckle, that round win buckle, you're thinking there's nothing greater than this.
For sure.
Was there a time when you thought it's round win, or like there's nothing, it's that or fail?
Well, that's what everybody watching my roping, that's what everybody thinks. I'm go for broke. I'm going for first every time. Really and truthfully, when I got that buckle and I got that Pendleton whiskey bottle sitting there and I win, it feels like I can do that so many more times. You know,
it feels easy.
It feels at that moment, it feels like this is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Really and truthfully, I don't mean that in a cocky way or whatever. I think every competitor should feel like that this is what's supposed to happen. So, no, it more so felt like, why didn't I do this the last 3 nights?
Yeah.
And really and truthfully, I won round 5 of my first NFR. It was like, oh, there it is. You know, that's what felt like should happen. When I run great calves, I'll win first, and when I run average calves, I'll win 5th or 6th, and that's what it feels like should happen.
The problem though with that is, you are is this your 8th year?
This is my 8th year rodeo.
8th year rodeo. You have 5 total go-round wins at the NFR. Shane Hanshey, he's 16th year rodeo and 17th. I don't know off the top of my head. He's way over 10. He hasn't won a go-round in a few years. Lots of guys haven't won go-rounds in a few years. You have that mindset. I know dang sure Shane Hanshey thinks every time he nods his head he's win that go-round. But sometimes you look up and it's been years. For you, it was years. Like, that's what I'm saying, that mindset of this is what should happen and it doesn't happen for years. How do you deal with that?
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot better. I'm not going to write the book on how to deal with that.
There's better ways to deal with it than you have.
For sure. And my dad said it when you were talking to him. He said, I think everybody knows to win, to be good at rodeo, and you got to learn how to win. Everybody talks about it. You got to learn how to win. You got to learn how to lose to make it in this sport. I figured that out in the summer. In the summer run, I figured that out because we're going to a rodeo tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and probably 2 the next day and 6 next week. And at the end of September, we'll go home and we'll get ready for the finals and we'll practice 60 days and then you get 10 runs. And that to me was something I think I had to hit, in my opinion, my rock bottom at the national finals, competing so shitty there. I had to feel that feeling of, well, I still woke up. My family still loved me. I still, I got a roof over my head. I still got great horses. I'm pretty healthy. That's the worst case scenario. So be it. To then, I think, go back, bounce, hit the bottom and go back up is what I think had to happen for me in that arena. It is just another rodeo. But also at the same time, it's not, because it's what we work all year, our whole life to qualify for.
It's $33,000 per round, $80,000 for the average. Do you think the money plays a factor?
I'm sure.
Or do you think it's just prestige?
I'm sure for a lot of guys. It's for me, it's self-pressure I put on myself because I know this is my opportunity to succeed. This is what it all comes down to. This is it, I mean, I love Denver. I love Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, San Angelo, Reno, I love all the rodeos. But there's only one national finals.
There's also a lot of guys, a lot of freaking dudes who can rope, who can spur broncs, who can ride bulls, who have never won a round in Las Vegas.
For sure.
So it just puts it in perspective. And I think that goes back to kind of like what I was excited to talk to you about. And hopefully the people know is you've been a winner, the best winner. There's been nobody better than you at every level. And then at the NFR, then that gold buckle is that next step that you have to take. I think that plays into why you're so hard on yourself, because it's the best or nothing. Like that's the standard. It's always been that standard.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes life hard sometimes when that is the standard, but also I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm blessed. Pressure's a privilege. I've heard that a lot in interviews and clips and quotes, and pressure's a privilege. And really and truthfully, I don't feel outside pressure. I feel this pressure that I put on myself to succeed and to do what I know I can do. I've put myself in the position. I have the capability. I have the horses. I have all the situation is there. But nobody can go nod your head for you. Period.
On this notes, things we should talk about. Blew out your ankle, and it wasn't just a sprain. It was like torn stuff in there. Herniated discs. You've had herniated discs for like 5 years. I don't think they've gotten any better. This year's been one of the better years you've had in terms of health. But then this year, you hurt your hand, you're pushing a calf, you get kicked in the hand. Then I see you here at Caldwell pushing a calf. I'm like, I would never push a calf again if that happened to me, but that's me personally. Stem cells and getting your back fixed. I don't know what the stem cells were for, but you've dealt with your fair share of injuries throughout your career. And I don't think I've seen you go through a full year completely healthy.
Yeah, for sure. That's the freaking hard part about our sport. I mean, I know NBA, they play whatever, 82 games.
Yeah.
MLB, they play 162 games. If you make the playoffs, I know you got to play, if you're the lower seed, you got to play a higher seed in the first round. But I don't know of another sport where every dollar matters. Every rodeo matters. Every calf we run matters. If you miss a rodeo or if you're not competing at a high level at a rodeo because you're injured, it's going to affect the outcome. If you're open for, whether you're open for to make a national finals or if you're open for a world championship or if you're open to be a top 5, whatever it is, your spot is getting affected today, tomorrow, and the next day based on your health. And yes, you can doctor release, you can take rodeos off, but everything that we have that goes into play from tour standings to make Puyallup, you can win so much money at Puyallup. You can win so much money at Sioux Falls. It's just, there's obviously times where it's easier if you take this time off in the spring would probably be an ideal time. If you had to take time off because of an injury, it would probably be the spring. But overall, a guy would love to be healthy for 365 days because that's kind of what it takes in our sport.
In the documentary that I just released, Trent Walls called you in 2 years ago or last year. What did he tell you?
He didn't wait till January.
It was a couple weeks after the NFR. A couple weeks after the 2023 NFR.
He didn't wait 2 weeks.
What did he tell you?
This sucker calls me 4 days after. It was Thursday. It was Wednesday, and the NFR ends on a Saturday night. It was that next Wednesday, about 10 in the morning. Me and Trent are cool. We see each other and we talk and we say hi. We don't really talk. He don't call me, you know. He calls me. Hello. Oh, what's up? Blah, blah. Small talk. He's a talker. I can't wait to get him on the podcast. But he says, hey, buddy, just to let you know, your mom, maybe if you got a girlfriend, maybe your sister, maybe you got an aunt or uncle, thinks you might have a chance to be a world champion next year, but there ain't nobody else in the world that thinks that you are a factor when it comes down to being the best.
What goes through your mind when you hear that?
That was something that I told myself a lot, but hearing it from somebody else I loved it.
Did it fired you up or did it kind of like upset you a little bit?
I was already upset. I'd already had
coming off a bad year a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, everything was so bad at the national finals anyways. I mean, inside the arena, outside the arena, everything that I had going on wasn't headed the right direction anyways. So I'd have been upset enough. It was more so like that's what I needed to hear. And it comes down again to the fact of that's whenever I felt like people already think that and it doesn't matter what people think, but perception is reality. If you know anything about the sport, you would have never looked at Ty Harris and thought, oh, he might be open for a world championship next year. I mean, you'd be stupid if you did. Really and truthfully, why would you think that? So probably exactly what I needed to hear, because it was like, who cares? My family's going to love me. Still got a roof over my head. Like I said, all those things aren't going to change. This is self-pressure, and pressure is a privilege. Go embrace it. Go enjoy it. Go work at it. And what's the worst case scenario? You suck again in Vegas? Already did it. Been there, done that.
Because the reason I preface with that, because that thing you want to check off is you want to be a world champion one day. Do you think for you it's more about your talent, your mindset, or momentum?
That's exactly though. My momentum, in my opinion, you ain't going to ride this deal to a world championship off momentum against Shad Mayfield and Riley Webb. we've interviewed a lot of world champions, and so we'd have to ask them. They'd know better than me. But me, from the outside looking in, to be the world champion, you're not going to beat those guys on momentum. It's on every single day being as perfect as I can be. I mean, I don't have more talent than Shad. Riley, to me, is unbelievable example because he's his best self every single day.
Riley's not the most fast, not the most athletic at all.
Physically, he's his best every day.
Yeah.
And guess what? His best keeps getting better and better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
There's a couple accomplishments that we didn't mention that we didn't get to, but you set the Cowboy Christmas Rodeo record. We did a whole video on that. We did a whole thing on that. You broke Trevor Brazil's all-time earnings record for Cowboy Christmas. And then the year after that, 2024, you broke your own record and set it even higher. Other notable wins, you won Pendleton, you won the Houston Stock Show and Rodeo. You've won 5 go-around wins at the NFR. This year will be your 7th, because you're going to get it clinched here pretty soon, your 7th NFR, that list of accomplishments. This year and in the next 5 years, because you have a long career ahead of you. You have the goal of, making 15 NFRs. Hopefully that's one of your big goals. But this year, the next 5 years, immediate, what are some goals you have that you want to accomplish? You probably haven't thought of that. I don't think we've talked about this much.
No, you haven't. I don't know.
What do you mean, I don't know? Is it like, I don't know, like, I'm just living the life, just roping every day, trying to make the best I can have? Or is it like, you've listened to so many podcasts and everybody says just be present? Is it you've kind of accomplished so much already and the only thing left is the one big one? I mean, what?
I think it's hard not to get pulled into that and drawn into that a little bit, I mean, because I feel like I'm an NFR roper. I think I can do that every year. Lord willing, I stay healthy enough. I think I can make the NFR every year. So I don't even really, to me, that's a great goal, but that's not even the goal that I would say when you ask me what my goals are for the next 5 years. That's not even, to me, what's on my mind, just because I know I can do it. I want to set high goals, but also you set a goal to be a world champion today with those two guys. Everyone knows who you got to beat right now to be a world champion. If you just set that as a goal, does it feel realistic? I don't know. My 2-year goal would be, I want to feel in 2 years like it would be realistic to set my standard to try to go chase a world championship.
That's well put. You're not going to just try to be a world champion or say you want to be a world champion and not have the resume or feel confident enough in your ability and your physical state and your skills to make it happen. You just want to know you're the best roper or even be in that conversation.
Well, that's what you always ask me. Why won't you say you're going to go win a world championship?
Yeah, I do ask you that a lot.
I love the mental state. You ask me that all the time. I love it.
Because I think it's just mind games. Don't just say it and believe it.
It ain't.
Not mind games, but faith.
No,
believe it.
I mean, manifestation, I think, is real, but also realism is too. I think that if I just say it, then I'm not going to be doing the things every day when I wake up that I need to be doing to make the changes and the improvements that I need to where it actually, I think, could be real.
Gotcha.
So earlier we talked about, physically, mentally, everything that it takes to win. For me, mentally, I have to figure out how to, when I am perfectly prepared and perfectly ready, then realizing and feeling that I am. I think that's the hardest thing that a lot of people in rodeo, and I'm sure other sports struggle with, is being realistic. Did I run a good calf? Did I do my job? If they didn't do their job, be realistic, be hard on yourself, fix it, and then move on to the next one with confidence. I think you see a lot of people that always run a bad calf, always run a bad steer, always got on a bad bucking horse, always drew a bad bull, always got the short end of the stick.
Can't be true all the time.
Nothing against them. It doesn't happen all the time. The best guys win. Not saying you couldn't be the best guy, but you're not going to become the best guy if you just always drew the short end of the stick, if you always think that you got unlucky. Skill creates the best luck.
It's true.
And so that's how I feel about it. On the other end of the spectrum, being able to say, draw better. You'll be good. Because sometimes nitpicking on different things, I don't think Riley's the perfect roper. I don't think Shad's the perfect roper. I don't think there's anybody that's probably perfect in anything, but I think the best in each event are really, really good at dialing in on what they maybe need to be sharper on the next time, and also being fully confident that they're still good enough and they're the best.
And being realistic about the things that were out of their control.
Be realistic enough, but also be confident enough that you know that you're about to do it next time. No big deal, whatever. Like, I rode it with Haven. His mental game was amazing. He always said, "Oh, bad calf, on to the next one," with still being able to make the adjustments he needed to on him and his horse and to be ready to rope. To me, it's an art.
Joe B said, if Ty Harris makes it in the top 5 every year and he's dialed, he has a chance at a gold buckle. Every year he will have a chance at a gold buckle if he can get there in the top 5. What do you think when you hear that?
I think that's true. I think if you show up in the top 5 in any event, you have a chance.
Mathematically,
you have a chance for sure. But that Yellow Arena ain't gonna lie to nobody. The best guy's gonna come out after 10 rounds.
Yeah.
I think Shane Hanchy said it best when I asked him about sponsors and how do you make it in this. When I was my first NFR, I didn't make nothing. I didn't make no money. I showed up to Vegas broke, and so I was asking him, and he goes, make the NFR in the top 5 every year. Put your name on that website. Sponsors will come. Everything else will come. So yes, I think put yourself in the top 5 and work on everything that it takes to be at that elite level.
Put yourself there and you have a chance, give yourself a chance to win. Good things will happen. We've talked about this topic quite a bit. It's funny how you got your advice from Shane Hanchy, and he's pretty much the one who's perfected that. He's given himself chances after chance after chance. He's just a winner, and his career is going down as one of the greatest ever. So it's funny that he gave you that advice because he's lived it.
Talk about a guy that lives his advice. He practices what he preaches. I mean, all the NFL, all the world championships that he put himself right there to win that no one talks about.
Yeah,
he does maybe win the one that in his mind he didn't even think he was going to win, but he puts himself there year in and year out. Put yourself in that position. Keep working as hard as possible to be the best you can. And if you go, I always say that Yellow Arena don't lie, but also anything can happen in 10 rounds. So
it's true.
Anything could happen in 10 rounds. If you put yourself in the position and you practice as hard as possible and you're fully prepared, the ball could bounce your way if you're in that position. That's why Joe B said that. I think if Ty Harris keeps putting himself in the top 5 and he goes out there dialed in, he could do it, because it's true. If you are in the top 5, you do have a chance. But to me,
you gotta show up and do it.
Real confidence comes from knowing that I am that.
Yeah.
I know I'm an NFR roper. I'm confident that I'm an NFR roper. I've seen it, though. I haven't seen myself be the best roper in the world. I think that it's hard to believe something that you're not.
So really, in a sense, you don't really got to believe yourself to be a world champion. You just got to believe that you can rope good in that arena. Every year you have some story of some guy coming from nowhere and winning a bunch of money. Cooper James was a story last year. I don't know where he came in with, but he was riding. He had his chance for a gold buckle at the end of it. Josh Frost ended up winning it, but no one was thinking about Cooper James, potential world champion, when he came into the NFR.
For sure.
Every year there's a story like that.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. And
so why not Ty Harris?
There you go.
Because I'm trying to, just so y'all know, people, I'm trying to get him to be more calm. I'm going to be a world champion one day. What do you think about, that's the rodeo Ty Harris, but also, Let's Freaking Rodeo. You're now in the arena, outside the arena, you're hustling, you're visionary, you want to grow rodeo, you want to grow yourself, you want to grow your roping. What are some things that outside of the arena that you would hope to accomplish in the next couple years?
What do we want to accomplish,
What do we want to accomplish? What do you want Let's Freaking Rodeo to be in the next couple years?
Huge. I want everybody to know what it is. I want us to keep bringing amazing stories and just real life stuff to everybody. I think we've reached the rodeo world in a huge way, thanks to the Cowboy Channel, Teton Ridge, obviously your great work and our great guests. But I want to grow rodeo, and I want to reach and people that don't know anything about it, people that might go to the rodeo on Friday night or Saturday night with their, go out on the town and have a good evening. But if they hear our stuff, see your documentaries, hear our podcasts, see our clips come across our social medias, and I really, really, really think a lot of people could become true fans of the sport and true fans of athletes when they hear these stories.
I look back to, I was watching some vintage footage of the 1980s, 70s. It almost seemed like the general U.S. population, everyone knew rodeo. Everyone comprehended rodeo.
Yep.
They knew what the averages were. They knew what, they just knew what it was. And I think we've lost that in the world right now. In the United States, it's kind of like declining.
We know what these cell phones have done, I mean, if we've talked about it, all of our older guests can tell a story way better because they lived the story. They're not on their dang cell phone the whole time.
They've told it thousands of times.
And they actually felt the whole thing. They remember road maps because they're not sitting there on their GPS, the road names and this goes this south and lakes and everything, It's amazing how much stuff I remember from being on the rodeo trail when you don't have phone service.
Yeah.
I'll remember exactly what road I was on and the beautiful scenery and stuff. So yeah, I think cell phones have changed the world. Not to get on, I mean, this ain't Joe Rogan, this is still Let's Freaking Rodeo, but I love it. Yeah. It's changed the world in a negative way.
Cowboys are the new rock stars, or not the new rock star, a version of rock stars touring the world, touring the United States with rodeos. More added money, bigger rodeos. They're just added Nashville. They're going to add more big ones. Just as rodeo keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I hope through Let's Freaking Rodeo, through media, through you and the access that you help us get to tell people stories, that we're going to just hopefully help rodeo grow and help people understand and comprehend rodeo, grow the fandom. And I love it.
I haven't ever met anybody in the airport that didn't. I have met 2 straight animal activists in the airport that I didn't win over. But every other person I've ever met in the airport or in a random place that started asking me about my shirt or what it meant, I could talk to them about rodeo, tell them what goes into it, tell them what we do every day, and they don't have their just wide eyes with an amazing respect for the sport, and they're ready to go watch. Going to the rodeo is going to show you some. Coming to Let's Freaking Rodeo and seeing what we're putting out there is going to show you a lot more.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's a great way to end this podcast. This was the Ty Harris episode, Ty Harris interview. We really didn't even get into some big things in his life, but we'll circle back in 2 years.
Back.
We'll circle back
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, we do podcasts. We'll circle back in a couple years when you have even more accomplishments. Probably more. We'll probably do them quicker than that, actually. Thank y'all for watching. This is the Let's Freaking Rodeo podcast. See you in the next episode.
Let's Freaking Rodeo.